time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. And Al, much of the state has had a chance to dry out with lots of sun and some pretty warm temperatures. So the question is, will the trend continue into next week?
Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on the air due to my vacation in Michigan, and during that time period, of course, we've seen some very cool conditions during the previous week, and of course, a tornado touchdown in the southwestern part of Lincoln, and then we've had some very warm temperatures this week that has helped us at least get some of the planting done. Progress is still behind normal as of Sunday, 45% completed on the corn. I suspect we'll see that number jump dramatically as we go to next Monday, but further to the east, the inclement weather has kept planting at a bare minimum. Many of the states, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, are anywhere from 40 to 60% behind their normal planting place, with another major storm system ready to poised to enter into the central United States to continue giving significant moisture to much of the region. So as we look at the upper air models, today we have this trough that has ejected out of the trough in the western United States. We've seen some precipitation break out across northern Nebraska last night. This trough will help to keep precipitation in our region as we see the surface low in south central Kansas start to slowly migrate its way toward the western Great Lakes. So the thunderstorm activity from last night looks to be heaviest across northeast and south central Nebraska and also in southeastern Nebraska. We will see that generate more in the afternoon, and then tomorrow we'll start to see another piece of energy moving into the region. The main low moves out toward Michigan, another low in the Texas Panhandle. That will help to generate some thunderstorms, particularly across eastern Nebraska, with the heaviest of them in northwestern Iowa. And then on Monday, we see that trough starting to dig in rather significantly, starting to eject energy up into our region with a surface low developing over the Texas Panhandle. That will bring a big fetch of moisture into our region, and we start to see thunderstorms fill in as the day progresses, getting heavy as we go through the overnight hours of Monday. And that energy still continues out of that trough, directing toward southeastern and eastern Kansas, with the surface low now making its way into south central portions of Nebraska. That is going to have widespread thunderstorms across the western half of the state during the first half of the day. That will progress toward eastern Nebraska during the overnight hours. And then we see the last pulse of energy starting to move out into our region as we go into Wednesday. Still have another surface low in Texas Panhandle that will move toward the northeast, and that will actually bring the main low pressure system with it. So it looks like we will see some thunderstorm activity in the southeast and the northwest, with maybe a dry slot in the center part of the state. And then on Thursday, we start to see that trough trying to make progress toward the east. The surface low, another one looks like it's in the Texas Panhandle. This one looks like it's going to direct the energy more towards southeastern Nebraska and points off to the east, leaving much of northern Nebraska high and dry. On Friday, we see another trough trying to build into the western United States. Surface lows are lined up along the front range of the Rocky Mountains, but we don't have the moisture evacuation from the Gulf to really influence significant moisture north of Nebraska. It looks like primarily it's going to be south central Nebraska and points to the east that will deal with the heavier precipitation before we see a slight drying trend into the future. So if we look at the 8 to 14 day forecast, with that extra low coming in, it looks like below normal temperatures are going to be widespread across the central Rockies, warmer across the southeast in terms of precipitation. With that big storm kicking out, another significant round of precipitation is likely as we go through the following week.